Afternoon and welcome to the Protective and Emergency Services Committee for November 18th. I'm going to call our meeting to order. Councillor Duran is joining us online. I need someone to approve our agenda today. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by His Worship. Any declarations of conflict of interest?
No.
Everybody's good, thank you. Approval of our previous draft minutes from October 21st.
Moved.
Seconded, okay. Any business arising from those minutes? Not seeing any, so we're gonna move right into reports. We do have an open session and a closed session today in our committee. The first report or discussion under 6A is enforcement and summary proceedings bylaw, Deputy Police Chief Sean Combs.
All right.
Melanie, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you. If I may, just before we start off, I just want to give an acknowledgement to our street crime unit with the assistance of the tactical unit as well. Last week, street crime unit arrested and charged 4 Nova Scotia individuals for following an investigation into organized crime group in the greater Charlottetown area. We seized 2 kilograms of cocaine and a 12-gauge shotgun.
Wow, good.
And we strapped it to organized crime coming out of Halifax. So the charges stemming from that were purpose for trafficking of cocaine, purpose of the tracking of MDMA, dangerous possession of a firearm, careless storage of a firearm, and unauthorized possession of a firearm. So really good work by our street crime guys and the tactical response unit as assistance. Just want to put a shout out to them.
Great job.
Thank you. All right, so the enforcement and summary proceeding bylaw is prepared by Melanie Bailey. And the proposed changes, we recommend the proposed changes to the enforcement summary proceedings bylaw be adopted by council. So just the report details, the enforcement and summary proceedings bylaw has been updated by legal to comply with current MGA requirements. The changes as provided by legal can be provided in the attached enforcement and summary proceedings bylaw markup. Staff are seeking approval from Protective Services Committee to move the bylaw to council for adoption process. So if you can see there in the attachment, Melanie's been able to use color coding to show the changes that have been made, some things that have been deleted, and some things that have been added, be more in line with the MGA, and it's gone through legal, and I've read it thoroughly, and I don't seem to have any issues with it. It looks like there's be a little bit more of a stronger arm for enforcement capabilities.
Good. Make rules, it's good to have the capacity to enforce them. Are there any questions on this report enforcement and summary bylaw proceeding?
I'm good.
Councillor Duran, do you have any questions?
No, I'm fine with that, thank you.
You're good, Your Worship?
Yeah.
So what I need is someone to move, that we move this on to council for approval.
I'll move.
Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by His Worship. All in favor of that, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Good job on that. It's nice and clear when it's color coded too.
Yeah,
Thank you for
well
that,
done.
Melanie.
And the red is the one, oh, sorry,
No, go ahead.
the red is what we took out, right?
The red is
The
what
red
we
is what's
added.
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 Red is
I'm sorry.
added.
Lines there.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
There's things that were deleted and there's a cross in them.
Right on, okay. Thank you.
So could I just ask on that, when it comes to a bylaw enforcement officer going to get dilapidated, unsightly dangerous structures, it doesn't have to go back to council anymore, there's a fine process in there, correct? That I saw. If it cannot be enforced, like if the person doesn't pay it, right? What's the next step? Is it we take them to court?
The biggest change that I've seen in the amendment is that it's a summary conviction offense now.
Okay.
Similar to
A traffic
a
ticket.
traffic ticket
Or not wearing your seatbelt.
enforcement,
Okay.
as opposed to just straight bylaw.
Okay, thank you very much.
And there's been some changes with who can proceed in listening to the trial, whether it's a provincial court judge or a justice of the peace.
Oh, okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you. I believe you're up again, Deputy Chief, on the report on ground search and rescue memorandum of understanding.
Right, so this report is to provide council with information on Charlottetown Police's partnership with PEI Ground Search and Rescue Organization and executed a memorandum of understanding. As it stands right now, we've worked with Ground Search and Rescue for years and years. We've had a good working relationship. But now we're looking to have an MOU signed. Staff recommendation is that the city enter into the memorandum of understanding with the province of Prince Edward Island Ground Search and Rescue Organization, and that the mayor and CAO be hereby authorized to execute standard contracts and agreements to implement this resolution. So basically in this MOU, it just details what the Charlottetown Police are responsible for, and then it details what Ground Search and Rescue will provide and their training. It just puts it all on paper. We've never actually had an MOU before, although we've worked together. It probably stems from the fact that at one time, when we called out Ground Search and Rescue, it was a free service. In the last number of years, there's been a cost associated to it. So once we start paying money into it, it's important to have an MOU to make sure that we're getting good bang for our buck and that everyone is living up to their obligations. I went through the memorandum of understanding and it's fairly generalized, but I can answer any questions that you may have on it.
See, it's Summerside Police are involved in it's a combined efforts with Summerside and Charlottetown.
Right, because PEI Ground Search and Rescue, they cover
Yeah.
the whole island.
No, it's good to see that partnership and
Yeah.
that consistency throughout, for sure.
So, Madam Chair?
Yes?
So, Deputy Chief, so you say there's gonna be a cost associated with this that we never had before? Is
No,
this-
that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, I just what I'm trying to understand.
In history, they used to do it for free.
Right,
But for the last number of years, when we've called them out, if we call them, there's a payment that goes with it.
okay,
And it's fairly significant, but it's a lot of staff, equipment, meals, mileage, and their change in operation is that they need to be compensated for it. So we pay that. In the MOU, it lists out what we're getting for our payment and who's in charge, who's the authority,
okay.
and that sort of thing.
Well, in those crisis situations, it's really important to know who's gonna be responsible for what in those moments.
Yeah,
It looks like it's a $1,500 annual fee, Counselor
Yeah,
Ramsey, and
yeah.
then it's
I just missed that,
$750
that's, I'm sorry.
per day,
No.
if they're active.
No,
in
it's
a-
great,
in a
it's, I
search.
really think it's a great project,
it's something we don't take lightly, calling out
no,
Ground Search and Rescue. Even before the cost, just because there's so much manpower included, but now with the cost, you know, we take it very seriously as to when we call it out. There's protocol, and then there's also times where it's just common sense. You know when you get a feeling that we should take it to the next level. And any in real-time decisions will be made in the MOU through the top people at Ground Search and Rescue and our incident commander on scene at the time.
is that ground search and rescue that arrived in Nova Scotia this past week for those two children? Or
Well,
or
every
is that a
province
different
has
group
their,
altogether?
every province has their own. So
Yeah,
I
this
don't know if
group,
they
I
were
think, came from
called out.
Ontario or something, did it?
I'm just trying to,
do.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
I mean, with the two children missing there for a while, you know.
Yeah.
No, I just wonder if that
We,
was all under
um,
the same umbrella.
We called them out just recently for a vulnerable homeless person
Okay,
who we did our own investigative search
Mhm.
and couldn't get anywhere. It was appropriate to call in
good,
Ground Search
It
Rescue.
might be nice just to be updated on kind of that policy prior to, just for information, just, you know?
Yeah.
At what point do we recognize that it's, maybe that's just operational, but it would be just more curious.
Yeah, well, there are some standard protocols.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to work outside of those protocols because you
100%.
just get a feeling that
Yeah, you know your own
Needs to be
sense
done.
of limitation for sure.
Okay.
Is there any other questions for Deputy Chief? Councillor Duran online, do you have any questions?
Yeah, no questions at all, thank you.
Okay, so I guess we need to move this on to council just more for information or move that on, Councillor Ramsey?
oh, yes, sorry.
And Councillor Drawn, you're good? Okay,
Yes, very good, thank you.
thank you. So our third report in the open is the report on the emergency measure operations, our EMO bylaw repeal and replacement. And
Mr. Chair.
Chief Mamie.
Thank you, Chair. As you mentioned, this report is entitled the Emergency Management Operations Bylaw Repeal and Replace. This is to provide committee with the thoroughly reviewed and updated EMO bylaw for repeal and replacement of the existing bylaw. Committee, the staff recommendation is that committee approve the advancement of the new bylaw to council for final approval of the repeal and replacement of the existing with this new. Attachments, there's two attachments to the report. One is the updated Emergency Management Operations Bylaw. And that's one of the key changes in the definitions. It's changed from emergency measures to emergency management, as you'll see throughout the completely repealed or completely prepared replacement EMO, and the old version from 1999. Obviously, a lot of changes in the last 26 years in regards to emergency practices, definitions, and legal language. So all of that has been worked through and changed since the first review. Interdepartmentally, all departments across the city had their input in changing the emergency measures, or emergency management plan and the emergency management bylaw input. We've modernized and improved and simplified and streamlined the language of the bylaw to more closely align with our provincial emergency measures organization and also with the gold standard of ICS incident command system operations across the country. We've clarified and simplified the city's two municipal EMO branches, being the governance and the operational branch. As I mentioned, modernized the language and definitions with complete overall editing and housekeeping. Provincial EMO review and feedback, we received their feedback after review of the bylaw and our emergency measures plan, or emergency management plan. They've given the thumbs up to both of those, and after a second tour down at legal, we provide this latest updated copy for review of committee and on to council. That concludes the report, Chair, unless there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
It's nice to see this here.
Definitely
I'm
is.
sure you're happy too.
Very happy, and the work done by Strategic Initiatives, Melanie down at the end there has been obviously a big part of carrying the load, so we can't say thank you enough to Melanie.
You know, throughout all our committees, Melanie, I think it is important to recognize the work you've done. And it's certainly nice to take bylaws that have been around for a long time and bring them up to where we are today in clear language, and thank you for all your hard work on that.
So this goes back to 1999.
Yes, the original.
Formed after amalgamation. Madam Chair, if I could just ask through you to the chief,
Sure thing.
have we looked at the other EMOs in Stratford and Cornwall? Do they align?
They align with the provincial emergency measures organization.
What are those hours?
As far as the
Region.
bylaw, I haven't seen their bylaws, to be honest.
Be nice to look at them, because if there's something that we wanna do as a capital region, is to look at EMO. That's what they're doing in New Brunswick. It's some of the regional services commissions is where are the synergies for working together? This is definitely one.
I think, Melanie, you probably did some
The
work.
mayor and Tammy, I did the background research and we're talking to him, and this was many months ago, so it's we're dredging through the memories. This was in the summer. Some of PI municipalities have updated their bylaw and some haven't. Some are still emergency measures, others are emergency management. This one will hopefully be something others can follow. You have updated the definitions with mutual aid, which means communities, and fire halls, which would be Cornwall and Stratford, where they provide mutual assistance during an emergency. And ours is slightly more advanced with the various branches and the scale of the scope. So while ours aligns in some cases, ours is more advanced through Tim's direction and the whole org chart and the ICS and provincial alignment. So that was the key, provincial alignment, legal alignment, and looking at the other bylaws, some are updated, some are not.
Correct, yes. And ours would be more overarching than most of the other municipalities that are close to us, simply because of our organization, our structure internally. But we can definitely do more to work closely with those partners, just like we do in our emergency mutual aid agreement.
Yeah, so we do have a mutual aid
Yes, we do.
agreement in place
Yes.
for the 4 fire stations.
Queens County. For the
Yeah, but for the capital region, I'm focused on that because attending the CCO, the Capital Cities, Canadian Capital Cities Organization Conference in Fredericton, and then the Atlantic Mayor's Congress in St. John. There's models in there in New Brunswick where they have regional service commissions, Fredericton, St. John. And these are some of the areas that they look at, EMO, fire services, planning, economic development. So just, if we could look at those two municipalities, Stratford and Cornwall, and when we meet as a capital region mayor's meeting, bring that up to say, look, this is something we can do together. All about shared services, strong communities.
And that's certainly a part. I do still think we should probably try to get this to council for approval
Oh, yeah,
for
it's going.
right
Oh,
now,
yes,
so
yes, yes.
you're good moving?
Yes, I
Well,
am.
a special meeting,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Councillor Duran, do you have any questions?
No, I don't, thank you.
Okay, so everyone's good to move that on. Thank you. Thank you. Next report is, as per request of, I think it was Councillor Beck, who had wanted to have an update on our current abandoned vacant buildings within the city of Charlottetown and where they are in the process. Before we start that, we had a little pre-conversation on this list. Deputy Chief Mitchell will update us, but the key piece is that they are operating when they receive complaints for these buildings within the city, where they go in and look and make sure that they meet the criteria to be considered dangerous or unsightly. So this list is running off that, and I'm gonna let Deputy Mitchell update us where they are on the list, where they are in the process, if you could.
Thanks, Chair, Your Worship. I'll just go down the list from when it was presented last, and start with, this is just for information at this point. Number one on the list was a property on Kirkwood Drive. It was deemed to be vacant and unoccupied, and it has been secured since February of 2025. I will add that the owner is showing some good faith in keeping the property from accumulating any further damage. They replaced the roof approximately a year ago, that type of thing. Inspectors are going to give me an update the next couple of weeks as to what the future is held for that property. So we'll leave that on the list with no further action besides a follow-up inspection at this time. 83 Houston Street is under construction right now through a permit process, so that will come off the list for next month. 231 Richmond Street, there's a new building going on site, so that will be removed from the list as on this list of inventory as well. One location on Upper Prince Street is now occupied and it's being sold, so that's gonna be removed from the list as well. Maple Avenue location, I just understand through the Public Works Department that there's been a tender awarded to have that removed from site, and that site will be leveled off by the new year, so hopefully that will come off the list by the next committee meeting. And the property in Oakland Drive was removed, so we'll remove that from the list as well. And the last one we had on our list was property in Chestnut Street, and that was demolished a few months ago, so happy to report that, and thanks to our inspectors and the owners of these buildings going through and getting this work done to make those properties safer, so appreciate that.
When it says file still active, if someone now is living in a building, obviously we're no longer involved, so file still active can be removed, correct?
Yes, so those properties I mentioned that were removed from the list, they're gonna be right off the list anyway.
So
I
when
think
this
there's-
comes to council, it might be good if we have the active language, just like
Yeah.
instead of the file still active, there's no longer really a file, cause there's
That's
a new building there and someone's living in it.
That's
Just
right.
so that it's clear,
Yeah,
would be my recommendation. Is there any questions?
There is much.
Councillor Drawn, I'll start with you, just cause I can't see you, you okay?
83 Houston Street, did you say 83? That's the corner property, Houston and, so you're talking 85.
it's 85, I guess
Yeah.
it'd be 85, sorry.
Okay, so that's the Irving Station, Houston
Yes,
Street
yeah.
Irving.
So that file really isn't active anymore because work's starting.
That's right.
It's
And-
renovated.
Right, so that's where I think that this needs just to be a little bit more up to date when we bring it on, so that people are clear.
Yes,
Clearly
so that'll be totally removed from the list, it won't even be on there next time.
So, the one that we took down on University Avenue, was there a complaint in on that? Or was that?
Originally, like 3 years ago when we started that process?
Right,
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that was initiated with a complaint,
so this is complaint driven,
yes.
and whoever submits the complaint has to be a resident of Charlottetown or.
Just
Or owner of the property
a
next.
passerby really could notice something and make that call, so it's held to that standard.
And who made the complaint for use, Chestnut Street, was that? That's been torn down, I don't remember someone making that complaint. I think we just went to the owner and said, what are you gonna do with the place?
Yeah, I think there was a complaint initiated which got the inspector in the first place, but we could check the file on that for sure.
It's just that we have, I think what Councillor Beck was saying is that we do have some dilapidated, unsightly hazardous buildings around the city.
Yeah, and if anybody from the department or the inspectors were to come across those, we wouldn't have to wait for a complaint to actually deal with them.
Good.
We can take that proactive approach, but
Right.
to do that across the city, we need more staffing, of
Yep.
course, and more directive, but.
And my other question, I think that I will be asked with, for example, 31 Kirkwood, and I'm glad to see the property owners are taking, proactive measures to improve their building. But they were part of that process, that 18-month process. So where in that 18, so now they're showing good faith and they're working. What happens to the process in that situation? Does that mean that it starts all over again? Does that mean that, that's gonna be a question that we're
Yeah.
probably gonna be asked as far as,
Yeah, like every time they start something, does that mean the process starts the 18 months again,
and
right?
if that's not clear, then that might be something as a policy that we wanna come back and look at to clarify a little bit more with these buildings, because I think that's the confusing part is
Yeah.
it's great that they're showing good faith and I hope that they continue. Everything's expensive, we all know time and contractors, but what does our process or our policy state in that? And that might be something that we could look at clarifying a little bit.
Definitely, because I think that would be a bit of a loophole there, Chair. I would say that things probably without that sort of definition about what we do when something restarts, is I'm sure that thing is basically, the time clock has basically been paused because of the conversation between the owners and the inspectors about what the next stage might be as well.
Yeah.
So every occupancy is gonna be different, I think, particular, but that is
And
something.
I know you can't pigeonhole that, but if it's
Yeah.
kind of a,
Yeah, if we
what's
have
a
a definition.
realistic or a reasonable
Exactly, yeah.
timeline within that, once things start to happen,
We'll definitely have a closer look at that and see what we
that would be great.
So just, Madam Chair, just a little history on this. When my brother was on council back in the late 80s and 90s, there was a chair of dilapidated, unsightly hazardous buildings.
There was a
Chair.
chair.
It was that would oversee that, yeah. And when we amalgamated, then it came part of the Protective Emergency Services Standing Committee. But there must be bylaws elsewhere that we don't have to reinvent to look at dilapidated, unsightly, hazardous buildings on terms of how do we monitor this situation, because it is a danger, all right? There is a possible danger of fire or emergency situation if a dilapidated building sits around unoccupied. So I think by taking the proactive
Exactly.
stance, we're not asking to stack it up, it's just to look at what's out there and take an inventory.
Definitely.
And I believe that's going back to Councillor Beck, are we doing an inventory? Thank you.
The inventory is one, but then when we've already started the process, what's that gonna look like? So it's kind of a twofold, for sure. But we'll hopefully have something that we can maybe look at in the next couple of committee meetings where Melanie, maybe you can help us figure out what our states and can we tighten that up? Thank you. Our final report for open is Deputy Mitchell's operational report for fire.
Thank you, Chair. Your worship, I'll be brief, just a few things. Operational report, provide operational response and fire prevention activities, inclusive October 1st to 31st. General inspections were 11. Inspections with hazard compliance orders issued were 6. Inspections closed were 4. The plan reviews, permits, and consults were 18, and 3 fire inspections, and 16 education sessions during that period. There were a total of 91 emergency calls, with Station 1 with 20, Engine 1 with 40, Station 2 with 31, 1, and fire inspector call-outs were 7. Training consisted of live fire, vehicle extrication, engine and ladder operations. Also special training such as advanced thermal imaging and high-rise fire training was completed, as well as our Blue Card Incident Command training continues, as well as medical first emergency responder training. The department kicked off Fire Prevention Week, the 1st of October, with our open house taking place on October 15th. I'd like to thank the public and everybody that showed up in support of that. It was a great turnout. Thank you to all who participated in the event as well, firefighters. And the department was also involved that day with Farm Day in the city. Lastly, Chief Mamie will give an update on the fire underwriters survey progress during the next special meeting of council, which I believe is November 25th. So, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can you tell me, and when you say inspections closed for?
Yeah.
What's that mean? What's that include?
So, when an inspector does an inspection and might be some opportunities to improve the building in a certain way or deficiencies in some other way, there's a report generated called the hazard compliance order. And then once that gets completed, once the compliance issue is done, it's completed, then the file gets closed out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that it'll open with the hazard compliance order and then they do a report when it's closed. So
Yes.
there's a start and finish, is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes I know there's lots going on, but
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that is. It's good for the public to be aware. Is there any questions?
I have one, Madam Chair, before we go to close. I should have brought it up with the Deputy Chief of Police. We have a noise bylaw, do we not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And for our own employees, because I got a nasty email yesterday about our vacuum truck at 5 in the morning. And this person doesn't understand why it doesn't start at 8,
7.
or, 7, but, she said 8 o'clock. She said they should work from 8 to 4. But this guy,
Bylaw says 7.
but this guy starts at 5 and he's done at 12. And she said it wakes everybody up in the street, and she understands that the leaves gotta be picked up, but at the same time, it was a nasty email. She's saying, why are they out at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, well, we ran across this issue with an application from one of the construction companies.
Right.
On one of the major projects, they wanted to start early and it was denied. I think they
Yes.
were 6.
I was chair back then, I remember that.
Right, so that was our stance as a city. As far as city vehicles, I would assume they would have to fall in the same
Absolutely.
as every other
Yeah.
person.
And just for public record there, Madam Chair, what I did is I responded to this person and just saying, thank you for your concern, and I forwarded on to our manager of Public Works and our supervisor. But I just wanted to reinforce that, like, there is a noise bylaw,
Yeah,
because I remember that all coming up years ago with that one company.
Right.
And, because they wanted to start at 6, as you said, one of the.
yeah, no, you're exactly right, and I think it's something that could be taken care of, like
So
internally.
I'll follow up with the Public Works and just say,
Yes.
you know,
What's the reasoning for it, and that the
Yeah.
fact that they're not supposed to be doing it at 5 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, because she said she can hear it like 3 streets over.
Well, and
The
I
big
think
vacuum
there's
truck.
lots of people trying to make hay when whether it's contractors or
Well,
people.
Right,
But if we're gonna have a bylaw.
yeah,
Then we have to enforce that, or we have to relook at that bylaw, and is it still appropriate and applicable to today?
You could have a special application process or something like that.
and our own
If
city
it's an
department's breaking the
That's your
bylaw, you say to yourself, there's something wrong here, right?
Who's this it's under policing or noise bylaw?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it is, yeah.
It's under your committee.
Well, there's about 95 of them then, and some of them don't make a lot
Very
of
important,
sense, so
very important
we should
standing
go
committee,
through
Madam
that. Pardon me? It
Very
is a very
important.
important standing
Could I
committee,
just get back to the report?
yeah.
So I just wanna thank the deputy and the chief, that was a great event Saturday night. I couldn't stay, but I know that our chair stayed, presented the awards, did a great job, looked great that night. So, it looked like it was a very successful event, and thank you for putting it on.
Thank you. And I'll just add, our long service awards were presented that night, and at our next meeting, I will mention who received them at that time. So,
The finest right here, both were recognized, 30 years for our chief, I believe.
Couple of years late, but yeah.
And, 15 for our deputy chief.
Wow, congratulations.
Yep, so, I grew up in the fire, well, I used to go to the little parades and stuff. My father wasn't a fireman, but he was just an attender.
Yeah, you sound like the mayor that moved back in
No,
history.
but it's just such a family. That whole
It
unit
is, it
it's
is.
incredible to see
Yeah.
them come together and look so sharp in their uniforms and really support each other, so it's
Did you
nice.
enjoy the evening, Madam
I
Chair?
had a wonderful evening, it was wonderful, lovely. A proud moment.
Thank you for attending.
So now we are going to move to a closed session as per the Municipal Government Act, section 119, subsection 1E. A matter still under consideration on which the council has not yet publicly announced a decision and about which discussions in public would likely prejudice a municipality's ability to carry out its negotiations. This has to do with an agreement with federal government on potential programming on firearms exchange. So I would need someone to move.
Moved.
Moved, seconded. All in favor? Thank you. back. Introduction of new business, your worship.
None.
None. I need a motion to adjourn. Moved, seconded. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just wait, we're still alive, 'cause